Hey folks, text the Black Pants Legion. I had to record the audio separate on this one because I thought I knew what I was doing, but I was wrong. I did not know what I was doing. I fucked up. So now I'm recording the audio weeks after I recorded the game. I was trying to crunch this shit together, and I have no idea what the fuck was going through my head at this time. I know at this point we're like trying to turn the tide. This is not a good way to make content unless you make really short content. Long plays in this format, it's kind of like rediscovering what you did and second guessing it. By the way, that guy in that jumpsuit back there, that's what Manglix looks like in real life. Yeah, that is what he looks like in the real life. So I have coffee, and yeah, got this coffee. Looks like I'm kicking the shit out of him. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, that's right. Run to space, you bitch. Welcome to Earth, motherfucker. Man, I had some Jehovah's Witnesses at my door this morning. They were like, do you believe in heaven on earth? I was like, no, and then I closed the door. Felt good. Alright, so let's see. I love that once you get the little crypto center, you can just see what they got. You can just go, oh, that's what you're bringing, huh? I don't like you. I think everyone looks cooler except for the engineer. That guy looks dumb with the science stuff on, the future science stuff. Because as the game goes on, you get better and better looking shit. But with the engineer, you don't. With the engineer, it looks pretty trashed here. God. Fighting UFOs would be kind of hard because they're fast and all, but I think we'd be able to see anything entering the atmosphere and prepare a surprise. I really do. I think we would fuck those guys up. I think that if aliens came down, they would find quite a bit of surprise waiting for them. This isn't World War II where we just have shitloads of equipment, but we have been preparing for wars since World War II, and this is where I got the bright idea of attacking a landed UFO. Because I do think I probably got tired of them just going, nope, I'm safe, I'm on the ground. And I was like, no, you're not. Time to fucking die. That's probably what I was thinking. God, how long is this episode? It is an hour and 27 minutes. All right. Hope you guys got nothing to do for the next hour and 27 minutes. I just saw my thing. I was like, is this even fucking moving? Oh, yeah, it is. Welcome to Entertainmentville. Now, as you can see, I'm placing people. Because for a moment, I thought, what if this was a chess set? And everyone's in their place. And I really do shoot these in HD. I've been shooting these in HD for years, but I can kind of appreciate it. There's Sly Fox with his Raketen. And we got everyone else. It's kind of sad because I've shot a few more episodes that have this issue. They actually do have this issue where I'm going to be having to record the sound later. That would be us, all of us with the jetpack, by the way. Just on board, and then using the jetpack to go like 10 feet. Pew! Miz. British Pete. Can't shoot. Alright, game over, man. What you got? Zoom! Land. Oh, boy. It's a bad boy. Yeah, it is. Fuck. Hate those dudes. But see, with your Rocket Mans, at least your late tier Rocket Mans, the early tier Rocket Mans kind of suck, but with your late tier jumpy rocket troops, you just want to get up high. Once you get up high, you riggedy wreck stuff. It's pretty good. John Reynolds. All right. Wee. Gonna fly. Where's he landing? The vertical scaling interface in this game, by the way, sucks. In this one, I'm not sure if they fixed that in the new XenoNauts. I've only seen little bits of the new XenoNauts. It looks very DACA. The gunplay looks good, but I don't know how it actually plays. No one in the Legion has played it yet. Everyone's been playing Kinchi and RimWorld. You know, scary truth here. We've reached the funding level required to actually dedicate time to a Space Station 13 server. So we're gonna have to actually, rather than just start hosting one, we're gonna sit down and think about what we're gonna do with our coders, because the Black Pants Legion actually has a lot of coders in it, including coders and admins from other stations. Shit, and some former like senior admins from other stations and projects. So and people who code for a living, like people whose full-time job is coding, which is pretty fucking brilliant. And we're gonna sit around and think, have a big long thinky think on how to make this work out. People are leaning at this moment through a few ideas. We're gonna have to sit around and have a big big thunk on what we want to do. Because features are an important aspect of it. It's probably not going to be up 24/7. This is probably going to be something we run on weekends until, you know, we feel we've got something that's stable enough to have full time. Because it's you want to do it good rather than do it shittily, I guess. Then again, with the rest of this channel, doing it shittily is kind of our bread and butter. A lot of people are leaning TG code because it's open. Anyone can modify or borrow it. A lot of people know TG. I mean, the most popular servers are TG or TG based. There's also an argument for Bay. There's Matt from Inner Bay was amiable to us actually using his shit, which is pretty amazing, because I loved Inner Bay, because it's kind of like LifeWeb and Bay Station had a very strange baby and did not treat it well. But I like the theory of it, and I like the ideas of it. It's pretty wild, the theory of it. Why would I say the theory of it? I should say I like the design of it, where it's supposed to be the far future, and nanotracing and all these other things have fallen. I think that would be interesting. Somewhat limited, as not a lot of people are familiar with that code, but I don't know. I mean, could be interesting. Some people say Goon, but we don't have access to anything other than the last Goon public release, which was, shall we say, not recent. It is not recent. There is a lot of farting, though. So we're thinking about it. Definitely gonna need our own station, because I don't want to run on other people's stations. As much as I've played on all these stations, I think I can say it would be very pleasant to have our own custom mess. Because if we only run weekends and limited hours, I think it's safe to say that we'll be briefly popular. It might be possible to get FTL 13 going, which is a TG base. FTL 13 was really fucking interesting before it kind of just went the way it went. And yeah, that could be really something. It could be. Will it be? We shall see. Shoot that guy. Shoot him in the ass. Shoot him in the ass. Blast. Ass blast. And then rocket. Watch this. Here we go. Pew! That's a miss. But I think that would fuck up that UFO. It's just to let them know we're there. That's knocking on the door. That's ringing that doorbell. Alright, here we go. Spanucci. Liquid video. Sly Fox. Must reload the rocket. Comrade, must reload the rocket. What's he gonna do? I threw an egg at you. Yeah, I resisted it. I resisted turbo egg. I think I forgot about that flank there. Yeah, fuck that cactus. Fuck that dirt. They're doing the door do-si-do. But trust me when I say that the BPL thing is for a station is gonna be pretty redonkulous. I had some really funny design ideas. Like if you're an assistant, and you just run around in Great Tide, we just put a thing on you where whenever you spawn in, you just spawn in the engine. I think that would be fucking great. Oh boy. Yeah, with these carriers, they tend to just come out the side doors. By the way, I did finally get to see that new Independence Day movie, and I had no idea what to say about it when I saw it, other than this is terrible. This is a terrible film. Like, every aspect of it was bad. All of the parts of it were really, really bad. I mean, every single part of it was fairly shit. Yeah, this is where I was like, please just drop a rocket so you have enough time units to... And then I was like, whatever, just run up. But yeah, the Independence Day film seemed all around to be a fairly shit movie. I really didn't know what to say. Oh yeah, suck it. I mean, you guys saw it, didn't you? The new one? Because the old one was alright. I remember seeing that in the theaters. Friends and I went to go see that when we were young lads. That was an okay movie. I mean, that was a solid summer movie. There was some stuff in there that was dumb. Yeah. You know, pretty epic speech, and then crazy drunk guy in a crop duster saves the day, and... That was an America Fuck Yeah movie. It was like, oh, you want to nuke us, alright? Well, fuck you. And the movie had a lot of good memes in it. I mean, it was a solid movie. This is where I'm just like, shoot the door down. Speaking of ruined potential here, speaking of like just absolutely ass-blasted potential, before the new XCOM came out, but before it was like chase camera, action camera, like cinematic over substance game, before they dumbed it down to turn-based adventures where barrel against the enemy's head equals a 55% chance to hit, before they did that, and action cam, unnecessary action cam, and the Heroes of Earth send 4 guys versus the alien horde, before they did all that, and did that badly, they were thinking of doing this XCOM game. And this XCOM game they were thinking of, and it was, God, I want to say 2007, 2008. They actually made a trailer for it. And the trailer for it was pretty wild, and it was going to be like a first-person investigative-ish RPG with minimal HUD. And you were like the X-Files guys. You went out and were investigating, and it was like in 1950s, early 1950s, white picket fence, Norman Rockwell, America, going out there and fighting, you know, the unknown. Like, you know, blobs and all sorts of horrible fucking monsters and just really unknown shit. They had a workup for a game. I don't know how complete it was. I know it was more than a demo, or maybe not much more. They had a whole game design document. They had characters and everything else kind of, well, starting to get fleshed out. And I thought that was really, really impressive looking. Then that went away. Then there was the new XCOM. And then there was that Mass Effect style XCOM shooter, which I've done on this channel, and I thought it was okay. It was not great. It was just okay. I thought the storyline and plot were decent. I thought the gunplay was eh. Storyline and plot I liked. The actual game mechanics needed a bit more work. Now, that is a game that would have been brilliant with co-op. You and your friends being, you know, American agents trying to stop the evils of the aliens. The storyline and plot were decent, but the rest of it, like the fine details, are where it really fell apart. But I think we were robbed of a very interesting take on XCOM for a reboot. Then again, I'm kind of in love with that idea of the 1950s America under threat of, you know, forces worse than communism, moon communism, and that is exciting to me. I would have played the fuck out of that. See, I think a game comes down to atmosphere a lot, and that's why I love games like BioShock and BioShock 2, which did not get enough love. BioShock Infinite, which was overhyped and had a lot of manufactured dissent in it, and had a lot of manufactured everything in it. I mean, it was really much like, look, there's a thing with the racism, and that'll stir up some controversy and it'll make sales. And I'm like, yeah, but see, we were promised this whole segment, because they showed, remember, a few years before the game came out, they showed this whole huge segment of the game where you're chasing a guy in those skyhook things, and he's running from you, and it shows how the tonics work, and it was very clumsy. And this multiverse story thing was an interesting idea, but it was very clumsily executed. It was bad. It was a lot of BioShock themed shit, but Infinite was not good enough. It was not good enough. 2 was an infinitely better game. And I know a lot of people didn't like 2, but I thought 2 told a separate story that was also necessary to help flesh out what was going on in Rapture. And I think that was a really good game. That and the multiplayer was, oh my god, I forgot this part. Oh, good job. And goodbye, spaceman. Yeah, that's the problem with these fucking carrier missions. God damn it. Oh well. Goodbye, spaceman. Gotcha. I just shot the wall to suppress it, because I'm a pretty good spaceman. And then I run back here, so as to prevent it from eating my butt. Don't need that. And then reaction shots, baby. You think I won't blow that up back there to get you? You are wrong. Alright, and then top off all the ammo. I think there's a lot of good potential for games out there that's still untapped, because invariably nowadays is about style versus substance, and you'll find people will spend an absolute amazing fortune in games, and the fortune that people spend in game development is not on the actual game development, but hyping the fuck out of the game, which does no good if the game is garbage. You'll sell a lot of money, but I mean, look at Fallout 76, where they hyped it to fuck. I mean, big commercial revenue, enormous amounts paid to streamers, enormous amounts paid to influencers, and then the game comes out, and, you know, like, from people getting a trash bag with a $200 collector's edition to influencers getting the canvas bag, Baggate, I guess you could call it. One good thing to come out of all this Fallout 76 shit is I hear to apologize. They're giving people free games, so by giving people the original Fallouts, that you're getting an actual RPG now with Fallout 76. Very interesting way to say thank you, but also an interesting way to highlight how far you've fallen. But if you look at games, if you look at games and how far they've come, you'll realize that there is a lot of potential that's untapped, but a lot of it is spoiled because they blow 3 times their budget on just advertising fucking garbage. And if they spent it on actually building the game would sell itself. And we're really far removed from the era where people would spend that money on the game. It's just not done anymore. So it's entirely possible to do it. Indie studios do it all the time without advertising, and they get by, and they still can create very good games. It's just when you work with a publisher like EA, it's you're making that deal with the devil. I mean, people have already started to see that with well, shit, they've been seeing that a while with BioWare. I mean, I used to love BioWare, and then they just went crazy. I mean, Mass Effect 3 was a slap in the face at the end, like, hey, remember all these characters you loved and shit? Well, suck a mile of dick. Choose a color for an ending. And, oh, you want to know what Tally looked like? Well, let's just take this Shutterstock stock photography photo and just add some extra fingers to it and color it different. Now she's that's what an alien girl looks like. And you just sit there and go, what in the actual fuck is wrong with you? And they did it. And the Andromeda, they spent like $50 million building a game that was functionally worse than almost anything else that year. I want to say almost, because there's always something worse, but you know what I mean. There's gotten to be so pervasive a problem that I really thought, because people talk about, what would you do if you won the lottery? And it's like, well, set some money aside for friends and family. Set some money aside in case you fuck up. You can always just have a house and your bills are paid for. You know, that money goes in a trust called the Keep Your Ass Alive Trust, where, you know, they send you to the doctor once a year and make sure you have all your checkups and everything's done. And that's, you know, they make sure your health and well-being is seen after. And then everything else you just blow on stupid ideas. And in the Black Pants Legion, stupid ideas are kind of king. So my idea, my dumbest idea that I had was, one, buy an old UHF studio and hire a bunch of people as full-time video editors, and hire people that I find funny that are redeemable good people, and have them make content and pay them to make content, and create 24 hours of programming that's broadcast locally and live and archived on YouTube, and just create glorious nonsense with a minimal budget. What would be great is that would be an awesome way to let people who were just starting out, who are like, look, I know I've got a lot of, you have some people who know they have a lot of talent, but they can't break out, they can't get a break, so you give them a shot. You say, look, I will pay you, you know, $36,000 a year, a reasonable starter salary. I will pay you that much a year, and your health insurance, and you must make a year's content of me. And you do that for editors. You know, they just get out of school and they want to show they did something. Well, I will pay you 1 year's editing wages. And that way you have shuffling talent of people who are very interested in developing. And see, this is the sort of shit I think of as just silly what ifs. Like, what would I do if I had if I won the lottery? You know, something as that statistically unlikely. Other things I would do if I won the lottery is just start a game studio. Just say, okay, My budget, like if you won one of those stupid lotteries where it's like, you won $300 million, you go, okay. Set aside money for your own. Set aside the money for the YouTube thing to where it's self-supporting, and then, so you got 50 mil left. Alright. Go take Zach and Tarn Adams of Door Fortress and say, alright guys. You guys will be the creative developers on this game. I will pay you each $10 million. And you're the creative developers. What you say goes. I want to put everything on your roadmap into this game. We're going to build it from the ground up with a good UI like RimWorld or similar. It'll still be a 2D game. You'll be able to play it with and without ASCII, tile sets, whatever. It'll have a UI. And we'll build some tutorials with the experts that are in the community. Build some very good tutorials so you can say, how do I do this? How do I do that? And that'll all be in there. Make this game approachable so people can see what a game of depth actually looks like. And we'll have a team of like 20 programmers just doing whatever you say. And making the code very clean and making it run and future-proof it for the next 10, 15 years. And Rocket CQB. Fuck yeah. Way to go, Sly Fox. Send those bitches to space. Oh, that's beautiful. But that would be my bid, is just find people who are very passionate, who are very competent, and say, okay, here's what we gotta do. And I think with, 20 programmers and paying them a decent salary, set a burn rate of like $10 million a year, and you hire 10 programmers at $100,000 a year, and you live in a place, like, set the studio up where you can, oh, wow, Sly Fox Murders 2, But yeah, if you said oh yeah, see, Liquid Video got gacked by that guy, so I'm sorry, bud. Red Wizard is a lieutenant. But yeah, if you said a $10 million a year burn rate, and you hired 10 programmers plus some other people, I mean, fuck, you'd be able to do it. Especially if you live somewhere where it costs fucking nothing. Like how he's got like the Nintendo Power Glove now. F-17 Condor. Alien alloys. We get this fucking alien hyperdrive and they're like, how does it work? Yeah, that fortress over there bothers me. See, I'm building more bases. Building bases for faces. And then I save the game. You know why? Because this bitch likes to crash a lot. And it's time to add somebody. It's time to add somebody to our list. And I pull private thread into our list of people. Yeah, and I realize we don't have the weapons. But we have those weapons. And that'll work. Something's wrong with this soldier health percentage. I think it's because there's a health buff with a super heavy armor. And so it kind of glitches for the first mission. I do not remember. There we go. Yeah, see. I'm giving Red Wizard a Magstorm. Magstorm. I was fascinated with that Magstorm because it does so much fucking damage. But I was also comparing it versus the same class weapon from earlier in the game, and it's a lot of fucking damage. It's a lot of damage. I also like how mag weapons work in Mass Effect, where you're shaving off tiny little slivers of matter and accelerating them to relativistic speed, and that's equal hitting to much larger shit. Oh, a battleship. Oh no. Oh no, it's a battleship. UFO 359. All right, let's send in the Marauders. There's a Whittle UFO. He's a Whittle guy. What's weird is I'm realizing I was talking this whole time and I just did not have the microphone on. So, when I was recording the game. And so any of the insights I had at that point in time are just gone. Which really makes you wonder about how long you would last in media. Because any media you make is essentially only as good as long as the format is good. So the people who we know that are artists from a few hundred years ago tend to be painters, sculptors, or, oh yeah, see, base under attack? Yeah, too bad I got shitloads of weapons there. Suck a dick. But, yeah, they lost. But yeah, painters, sculptors, writers, and musicians who wrote music down. But we know how musicians were composers, but we don't even know how good of a pianist Mozart was. We don't have recordings of Mozart. So there's a lot that's lost. Well, in this digital era, how long and how effective is a recording? I mean, let's say there was a big enough hack at YouTube and everything got eaten tomorrow. Everything, including their backups, shall we say. Which channels would rise and fall then? What if at YouTube somebody hacked them and the algorithm got completely rewritten and there was no algorithm anymore? Then who would rise or fall? These are things I think about. See, I was building this base over here at Europe because I hate people. And I also wanted to have another base to see what was flying over Europe because I don't like them. Remember that the Europe base is not your traditional base. It's not like shitloads of aircraft like the rest of my bases, because I realized I start building better and better and better and better and better aircraft. So yeah, what I end up doing is turning Europe, if memory serves, because now this is this is a month-old episode, so this is really bizarre. I'm recording an episode that's a month old. To you, it's brand new. But I'm re-recording the audio over it, and I also rename all these things Bunnings in Australia because Bunnings Snag is their national institution. So much so it was serious national debate, in some arenas I should say, over whether or not the onions go on the top or the bottom of the snag. And I'll let my Australians weigh in on this because I know well enough to where if I'm not from there to not judge them so much. I mean, judge them a little bit if they're starting to do fucked up shit that spills over, but when it comes to their cultural icons, it would be like me hating on K-pop. Personally, I think it sounds like people boiling cats, but I understand some people that that is their music, that is their jam. Personally, I hate it, but to each their own, I guess. Yeah, I turned Europe into a big manufacturing point for crazy stuff. Jolly old England and things. Why is there a ballpoint pen on this guy's stuff? I mean, you would never use a ballpoint pen anywhere near a fucking blueprint. That paper just bleeds. Man, I was at the gun range last week, and I go every week, but I'm okay. I'm not one of these dude bro mall ninja types. I shoot to practice. It's shooting is a perishable skill. I used to be not phenomenal, but I would say I was very good, above average to very good. And now I'm fair, because I did not shoot for a long time. And so you see a lot of weird people at the range. See a lot of interesting characters at the gun range. You see a lot of memes at the gun range. And I've seen some really stupid people back then that were, yeah, there's some people on the gun ranges where I just roll my eyes, but there's this one guy who was seeing me practice shooting because, okay, in marksmanship, there's, oh yeah, disengage on that, don't get murdered. Oh no, someone's blowing up shit up there in Upper Canada, you know, where there's like 12 people. Ugh. They're disrupting your fur trade, gentlemen. It'd be funny if aliens thought that was serious. But yeah, no, there's this guy named Jeff Cooper. And Jeff Cooper is why we have a lot of the training we do. Jeff Cooper is the guy who put in that mentality of, you know, don't point guns at people and treat all guns as loaded. And all those basic tenets are Jeff Cooperisms. And he was a Marine, and he served in a lot of training capacity in law enforcement, and he taught a lot of schools of shooting. And some of those are debated. Some of those are very hotly debated because each special forces community, law enforcement community, and everything else has kind of a view on whether or not someone is right or wrong. Everyone has a view on how it's supposed to be. I mean, people argue about whether drop-free magazines should be drop-free or whether you should retain magazines, what's a better drill, and you have all these. It's an area of contention, shall we say. And great, I gotta stop these guys from bombing Seattle. I'm sending in my task force. I forget if I saved Seattle or didn't. Because that's, I mean, looks like I did. Yeah, that's right. Get fucked. They drop those delicious alloys and stuff, but yeah, there's a lot of debate when it comes to guns. A lot of debate. Because there's Jeff Cooper, is a fount of a lot of gunnery stuff, but when you start talking about actual shooting technique and I'm not trying to underestimate Jeff Cooper's contribution to firearms. He made a lot of contributions to firearms. He's the inventor, well, not inventor, he came up with the concept of the scout rifle. He, you know, very outspoken man on many subjects, many subjects. So I'm barely touching the surface. I know there's some Cooperites out there that are probably like, but Tax, you forgot to talk about this. You know, there will be a lot of people who will just always go political with this, but I'm just talking about pure mechanical shooting. What's what in terms of training? Because there are a lot of people who think that guns are guns, and shooting gun requires no training whatsoever. And yeah, pulling a trigger requires no training, but and I'm talking about just the physical motion of pulling a trigger requires no training. Hitting what you're aiming at, though, consistently, and doing so in a means by which to, say, win a armed engagement, that's a different matter. That requires a fuckload of training. Do so consistently under a variety of difficult circumstances. So, anyways, back to Jeff Cooper. This guy came up with some ideas, and then there's Jim Cirio and Bill Jordan. Those guys are like the gods of armed combat close-in shooting, because there's a lot of tactical dude bros who are like, let me teach you everything I know about tactical pistol, and you're like, wow, were you in special forces? And he's like, no, I was in the army, I was a cook. And you're like, what? You know, and then you have like Bill Jordan, Jim Cirio, who've been in gunfights, and they're like, here's what I learned by surviving 50 gunfights. And you're like, oh, well, maybe this guy has some knowledge. So you start reading through these guys' stuff, and you're realizing, one, learning from these guys in person would probably be a better idea. But they have some interesting approaches to it. So at the gun range, you run into a lot of dude bros. You run into a lot of people who will just like go on forums and talk about this gun's the best because this, and they don't actually shoot that much. So there's this guy at the gun range, and he's got a Glock hat, He has a Glock shirt. He has a Glock, obviously. He has a Glock holster. He has Glock gloves. He has... I didn't know Glock made gloves. Apparently they did at one point. And yeah, fuck yeah, local forces with lasers. But he had Glock everything. I mean, just everything. And so this guy is a trainer. He trains people, or he bills his services as trainer. But he's what we like to call gun creep, where he offers a training program for, like, self-defense for women. And there's a lot of women who go, man, I should learn to defend myself. There's a lot of dangerous fucking people out there. And I want to learn how to fucking shoot. And so there are a bunch of classes for defense against, you know, rape and everything else. And they learn to fucking pack rather than complain about it. They're like, you know what? I'm going to take a stand. If someone tries to fuck me up, I'm fucking them up. And I think they should. But the thing is there are a lot of gun creeps who shoot passably to poorly and talk the talk, but can't walk the walk. They offer very bad instruction for someone who is starting out. And they stand there, and when they're like, all right, let me show you a shooting stance, and they wrap their arms around the person and press into them and say, here's how your body should be when shooting. And you can tell that they should have had maybe a classroom instruction period prior to showing up at the gun range. Like, okay, this is a barrel, and this is the trigger, and this is what a trigger break is, and this is trigger over travel, and here's how to reset a trigger, and here's how to diagnose the stovepipe, and here's how to correct this. And then you have the tactical guys who are like, it's tap, rack, bang in all circumstances. It's like, not if it's a hang fire, it isn't. But, you know, I'm glazing over a lot of stuff. So, Dr. Glock, as we call him at the local gun ranges there, Dr. Glock can't shoot for shit, really. And I'm, as I said, I'm just reteaching myself to shoot. I shoot very well now, and I'm a revolver guy, which is hard because then I'm all like always alone, because I'm the only guy with a revolver. 99 times out of 100, I'm the only guy with a revolver. Everyone else has moved on to high-speed, low-drag, $10,000 fucking handguns. As Jeff Cooper called them, Rooney guns, or as you might know them as race guns, where you have like $10,000 pistols. And believe me, that's why I don't shoot IPSC, because IPSC has become ruled by people who have more money than brains. You know, if you got a $10,000 gun that shoots match grade ammunition, and you can afford to shoot 10 days or 10 times a week, if you can afford to go to the gun range every other day, twice a day, you're probably gonna win 9 times out of 10 because of all your custom shit, all your built shit, and you're probably, yeah. I mean, there's a lot I have to say about fucking those competitions, but and so did Jeff Cooper. A lot of the experts who founded this said it should be out of the box. It should be, you have 5 rounds to practice, or 25 rounds to practice, or what have you, and then you fucking go. And everyone has the same gun, so it's just about skill, not who has a bigger wallet. Anyways, the madness of the gun range is, you know, everybody brings what they see themselves using for the most part. There's people who just like shooting. It's their zen thing, you know, so they'll just rent guns from the gun range. They don't even care if they shoot well. That's just their zen thing. They rent a gun from the gun range. They spend an hour there shooting stuff. They feel better, and they go back to the job. And, you know, everybody's got their thing, and that's cool. It's a communal activity. Everyone's kind of into it. I'm shooting all right. And one of the things is, before Jeff Cooper came along, this is why I brought him up in the whole thing, but before Jeff Cooper came along, I realized that there was a bunch of training on pistol that differed, and Jeff Cooper was the guy who kind of brought in that whole era of the Weaver grip and Weaver stance and, you know, combat pistol shooting, so everyone kind of shoots alike. I was trained to shoot by somebody who knew pre-Jeff Cooper stuff, and he taught one-handed shooting, no matter the caliber, because you had to be able to shoot both hands. So I'm fairly ambidextrous as far as guns go. fairly, not perfectly, because I don't think many people really are. And I'm not talking akimbo, though I have tried firing akimbo a few times just to see if I could do it. And the answer is yes, but not well. Not well at all. It's really difficult, especially when you're like one eye dominant. So, but it was an experiment. At any rate, and there's people who do shoot akimbo very well. Look at Single Action Shooting Society, SASS guys. There are people who shoot akimbo. That is one gun. Oh yeah, fuck you, blow up, chunky salsa. Good job, Red. But there are people who shoot akimbo very, very well. They just one gun in each hand and like dancing through the ground, dancing through combat, blasting people. Well, little outlines of people. They're not really shooting people in those events unless they have like a different match that is way different than advertised, in which case I kind of want tickets to that, even though it's really ethically reprehensible. So here's the thing, is I was shooting a Magnum one-handed because I was trained to. And you can train yourself to, and there's all those memes. Hey, it'll break your wrist. It'll break your wrist. Blah, 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 blah. And it's, you know, those memes are spread by people who've never shot a gun before, and they don't know that anything is manageable. I mean, it just requires training and practice. And so, just shooting one-handed, not a big deal. Practicing the old style duelist stance. Fairly accurate with it, doing single action, double action, and so, you know, single action I can get in the X-ring, double action we're looking at more like pie plate, or as I like to call it, minute of bad guy, and just shooting. And I also have a Glock. I have a Glock Gen 5. Well, I actually own two Glocks. I have a 9mm and I have a 10mm. And a 10mm Glock is just about perfect with the 20C, the one with the compensator and the slats cut in the barrel. That is just about perfect for 10mm. I've shot a 10mm 1911 frame, and I also think those are very good, but for a Glock, the 10mm with the compensation is about perfect. Without that compensation, I think that gun would be a bit unmanageable, especially in a Glock frame. 1911... that you wouldn't need compensation for that. Just heavy slide, short recoil is gonna make it all even. A long slide could also be interesting. God, really rambling here. Too much coffee. So, I have this Gen 5 Glock 9mm. You know, model 17, and when I go shooting, I've got like 10-15 magazines for it, and I just load them up and just start blasting, because that's what you're supposed to do. Get practice in, and also don't pay at the gun range to reload. Pay at the gun range to shoot. You know, time and time and time again. A Red Wizard is just fucking shit up. But yeah, just pay to shoot, not to load ammo. That's why I have so many magazines. And this may be a foreign concept to some people, because I know people be like, why not pay to reload at the range? And I'm like, because it's by the minute. Like, imagine if a car wash paid for every minute you stood on the property. You'd run through a car wash as quick as you could. Well, actually, car washes, if you do self-service too. Anyways, back to shooting. Glock guy draws Glock, shoots, does the Mozambique drill, you know, and he's doing a mess of it. I mean, it's really doing a mess of it. And he does it and then pulls the target back in and goes, yeah, that's how it's done. And, you know, his student almost shoots better than he does, almost. And I realized that she, with no training, has better instinct than he, with lots of training, apparently has. Just shameful. And the other thing is, I think she's starting to realize it at this point. Like, why did I pay this weirdo fucking money if he can't do his job? You know, it's like having someone mow your lawn for you, and there's whole chunks of the lawn that aren't mowed. You go, something's wrong with this guy. I need another gardener. And this guy's not printing paper well, and he's sitting there talking mad shit. So I take my brand new Glock at this point, when I had it as brand new, Model 17, and I take it and I send it out to the same distance as his target. And then I hit the button twice more and move it out just 2 little steps beyond his. And then I take the Glock out of the box and move the receipt and everything. So it's obvious that I've never shot this gun before, and I make a big play about not knowing how the magazine seats. And he leans over and he's like, "You need some help?" And I was like, "Oh, it's just a brand new Glock." And then, you know, at first I felt bad, like, oh, well, he did offer to help. And then I realized, no, it's so he can sell. He starts taking out his fucking business card. He's like, "I'm a Glock expert. I'm a recognized Glock expert. I have an FFL. I also sell Glocks. I only shoot Glocks. Glocks are all I carry. You chose well with that Glock there, son. Let me tell you, the Glocks are the best pistol ever. Glocks are very good. The cut on the rifling of the barrel is really proprietary, and no one makes a Glock like a Glock. Let me tell you about the Glocks. And this Glock I got is mag fucking magnificent, and and you just go ahead and shoot, son, and I'll watch." And you know, he gestures to his paper, and his paper has got them all, I'd say, like within the 6 or 7 ring or in, and I mean they are just all over the place, just fucking print all over there. There's no consistency. So do my thumbs forward, which is something you have to train yourself to do if you're predominantly a revolver guy like I am, because you always watch out for that cylinder gap. You only make that mistake once. And luckily, I did it with a 38, shooting very light rounds when I did that, because it does burn a chunk of your skin off. So I was sitting there, I thumbs forward, and I go, okay, and I just extend. I point, and I fire the whole magazine, 1 round a second, deliberate, slow, purposeful firing, and I get them all inside the 9 ring. And I lower the gun, and I'll admit, it was down to the low a little bit, like some of them were right on that border, punching down low, which means you're not using all the real estate for support on the left hand, you know, and you gotta adjust your back straps and make sure everything's right where it needs to be. Practice, practice, practice. And I just fucking did that. I just fucking lined it up in there, and then he looks at me and he's like, did you shoot this before? I was like, "I've never shot this before." And he's like, "Well, do it again." And I did it again, and he just walked away. He got pretty mad. So ever since that time, every time he's at the range, I'm like, "Oh wow, beginner's luck, huh?" And I just keep printing pretty decently. Can't get cocky though, because if you do, or change the consistency of your grip, that'll go everywhere. If you want good pistol training, there's a really interesting target series where it's like it's small and big circles, and you do them left to right, left to right, left to right. And I think the whole training regimen is something like 22-25 seconds. And you're supposed to put 1 bullet in each of the small circles and 2 bullets in each of the large one, and you go left to right, left to right, left to right. And it's all about consistency of trigger pull. I've seen even experts, like the first row, they're all really nice, but then when they have to reacquire after reloading, they're like, fuck, and it just starts getting really loose and going all over the place. And that is excellent fucking training. I did one of those a few weeks ago, and I was like, fuck. Because with a revolver, especially shooting .357 Magnum, near the end of that, you start to realize, wow, this is where fatigue sets in. This is interesting. It really does give you an understanding as to how things work and how things are supposed to work. Oh yeah, fuck that car. Man, I've been rambling instead of watching the XenoNauts too closely, but I think it's because what I was talking about while playing XenoNauts, I was probably like, alright, I gotta be careful. I got a bunch of robots holed up in the grocery store. At least I took out the big flying UFO fucker. Fuck that guy. Robot murder. And you got rockets, so you gotta use them. Wow. Nice! Right on the fucking forehead. Rocket applied directly to forehead. Rocket applied directly to forehead. Alright. Hope you guys enjoyed the Christmas dump. I really did want to put them all in one big video, but my Adobe like fucking crashed when I did that badly. So next year, not Adobe. I went to Vegas, but that seems to have been a mistake. I think I might try it again next year and make something really ridiculous. Might try to do like the 12 Days of Spacemas, and each one is like 5 hours of Space Station 13. Time allowing, of course, and my health allowing, of course. Stress is a motherfucking killer. People who say stress isn't a killer have obviously never had a doctor tell them that stress is a killer. Stress kills the fuck out of you, son. It will do it every time. I mean, cortisol in the blood is dangerous. I didn't know that. Doctor showed me charts and stuff. This is killing you. Oh. Like literally? Yes. Oh. How much? 100%. Fuck. That's a positive stereotype, Indian doctor. Like Indian doctor, Chinese doctor. These are your positive stereotypes that are absolutely correct. Like if I go into doctor's office and it's like a pasty white dude, I'm going, ugh, I don't know what I'm getting here. But if I get like an Indian dude, I feel instantly reassured. Like, this guy gives a fuck. Like, he came to my fucking country and he just wants me to be better. I don't know why, but I just do feel better when that is the case. Also, I love the mag guns just shooting holes out of walls and stuff. There's some hilarious mods for this game. There's one with the rail rifles where it's from an anime or something. Oh, by the way, when Catch visited on a few days before Christmas, he made me watch an anime, I think just to prove that he could do it. He made me watch an anime, and it was, let's see, there was a guy, and he was a superhero, and he was really frustrated because he was just too good. Like, he could just kill shit, and he'd murdered the fuck out of things. I mean, like, brutally fucking murdered them, and what was that called? One Punch Guy. Man, One Punch Man. That's right. And I know I have some people who like the animes who are probably freaking out right now, saying, Tex, how could you not know the name of it? And I don't know, okay? I don't watch anime. But I gave it an honest shot. I thought it wasn't bad. If I smoked weed, that'd probably be something to toke up to and watch. Just some guy beating the shit out of people. Probably be pretty comfy viewing, right? I don't know. I don't know. Pew pew, motherfuckers. Bob Cove. Ow. You fuck. I'll shoot you. So back to gun stuff. I was talking with some guys at the gun range one day because I was shooting my magnums. One of my magnums is Cerakoted, and it's Cerakoted in bright red and matte black. Someone asked why, and I said Adeptus Mechanicus. And the guy was like, what? And I was like, it is no matter for one of my skill. And I just wanted a durable Cerakoted revolver. Because I can shoot the bluing off a revolver in about a year. And I knew that on a Ruger, bluing does not last on a revolver. So I was like, fuck it, Cerakote that bitch. And I did. I Cerakoted the fuck out of it. And she looks good. think I posted a picture or two of it in the Patreon, but yeah. I was sitting there, and so this guy's sitting there talking about, you know, his guns. This guy was a 1911 guy, and look, 1911 is a really good design gun, really decent design gun. Perfectly reasonable carry option because it's great, but it's not the best gun that was ever made. It's really good for a lot of people. It's very reliable. It's very heavy. They're fairly accurate. I mean, even the bad ones are fairly accurate. Tend to be a bit heavy on recoil for new shooters. Aesthetically, they're pleasing, but they're good pointing, good shooting guns, and trend toward, you know, the higher end of reliability. They trend toward the higher end of shootability. The accessories and aftermarket for them is pretty phenomenal. But the problem with 1911s is, you know, there's some that are pretty crazy expensive. And I have my issues with that, unless they're art. If they're art guns, it doesn't count. If you have something that's just, you know, as a shall we say, a safe queen, as the terminology goes. If you've got a safe queen, or if you've got a similar, safe queen or similar, or a barbecue gun, that's another terminology that's used. Oh my god, yeah, that one does hit nice. Pew! No. I don't remember if this was the one where I just blew that guy's head off, but no, it's not the one where they explode. That is funny sometimes. Yeah. But if you're buying a barbecue gun or something that's just art, that's fine. But I was trying to explain why, like, a $5,000 1911 is bullshit. This guy got really mad, and I said, no, hear me out. Does Colt make a good 1911? He's like, well, yeah, it's the standard. It's the standard by which you judge all of the good ones. And I'm like, okay, so you buy a 1911 A1 from Colt. That's like how much? He's like, well, about $750. And I'm like, okay. Send it to the Colt Custom Shop, which is very good shop by all reports, does all the tuning on their custom guns. You have the full shebang of everything applied to it, which is like $1,300. So all in all, you're into $2,000 for a customed out, dehorned, feed ramp polished, everything tuned, trigger job, you know, re-blued with the royal blue bluing. I mean, just top of the line fucking everything, cut for carry, you know, recessed crown, bull barrel, match grade everything put into the gun, refit and finished. You know, bobbed hammer, I mean, just everything. And $2,000. And he goes, yeah? And I was like, well, that Wilson Combat's $4. Why? And he's like, well, it's Cerakote. And I was like, Cerakote's about $150. He's like, well, it's more expensive at some places. And I said, it's not better Cerakote. There's not, it's not like this Cerakote is twice as much. They all buy it from the same guy. It's just some people charge more to put spray paint on a gun. He's like, it's not paint, it's enamel. I'm like, okay, got it. Fucking weirdo. Oh, and someone ate it. He got snizziped by that asshole. It's fucking alien snipers. Now it's doing that weird stompy robot bug. Stamp. I'm a stampy robot. Blam. Yeah, we gotta get this guy out of here. You know, if you had a jetpack, this is exactly what you would do, right? Just, I need to get on the other side of that building. Well, I'm just gonna blow the ceiling out, I think. Yeah, I think I remember I do. I just try to blow the roof out, or just to fuck this guy up. Yep, there we go. There's my thinking. Move that guy. Rocket. 0% chance, but I blew the whole wall out, so now everybody can take pot shots. That's called thinking. And come on, put your money on it. Alright, there we go. Pew! Makes you realize how many hit points these guys have. That's 113 hit points right there. And, yeah. Hakeem the Dream died. Sorry, sir. You were sniped on the roof. Bad way to go. Very bad way to go. Red Wizard is dropping people. He is dropping it like it is hot. He is wrecking people. Oh, yeah. Sorry, someone was asking me a question, so you can hear me type on my new keyboard. I sprung for it. Brought to you by Patreon money. It's just a Corsair. I just got a newer version of the last one I had. Same with my mouse. My mouse actually had no action left in any of it. And someone wrote a comment. They were like, "You invented WrestleOps." And I'm like, also Clown Ops. Pizza Ops is not mine. That was somebody else. Now I'm just trying to get my shit back running. Because usually in this game what I do is I rotate my forces to where I have one base building all the aircraft, and I slowly send out waves of aircraft and get better and better and better. So then I have this fully staffed air force with all the best. Another way to do it, which is probably the wrong way to do it, but it's kind of funny, is I saw a guy make a very profitable operation on 2 bases that all they did was manufacture shit, and they'd make like 100 vests a month. And then he built like 20 air bases and just used the base aircraft and just sent them in waves at them. And it was actually surprisingly effective. He would lose aircraft all over the place, but it wasn't a big deal because he could just buy more. He'd send like 6 aircraft at a UFO from 2 different air bases. Get wrecked! There we go. Welcome to hell. Welcome to hell. Somebody was asking me, how many episodes in this Christmas time? A lot. Oh yeah. People keep asking, oh my god, is this a Christmas time? Yes. Alright, good. Well done. Looks like we're just waiting until the aliens attack. Production of Marauder Interceptor is finished, and then I gotta rename them. Bunnings. I saw a huge thing going on with Australians over Bunnings. Bunnings snags. Oh man. Bunnings snag. Probably. I mean, it's like a hardware store, and they just do these cookouts, and you can get stuff. from the cookouts. I really, I'm curious about that. I don't know how everything works. I just know that it works. And that's really all there is to it. Bunnings make snags, and you can have them. Yeah, I think that's all I know. That's all I'm willing to know. Now at this point, I just start issuing things. The issue I also realized is that Red Wizard wanted to be a snipe man's, but to use the sniper rifle, we can't use the powered armor because it can't do that. It doesn't have that fine manipulation. It's kind of like one of those Navy Newt suits. It's just like very rough manipulation. So you could like tear someone in half, but you couldn't make a sandwich. If you need to do either in a suit, that is. But I do have one precision blasto. And that's nice. God, that mag rifle has a hell of a trigger guard. So, I'm giving Sly Fox the armor that allows him to rapidly deploy. So I can have rapidly deployable Rocket Man. That is ideal. Just to have someone who can just jump around and rocket people. He wants to be a medic, so I'm giving him some explosives so he can blow up aliens. And he needs more explosives, so I'm trying to just fill his backpack with love. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Everyone's got medals and shit. Alright, here we go. Light them up. Oh. Suppose that's the end. Or is it? Oh my god, did it crash? It may have. It actually may have. Holy shit. Did I forget it crashed? Wow. This episode brought to you by technical difficulties. Jesus. Well, upvote and subscribe at your own fucking peril, huh? Never know what you're gonna get. Fuck ups are fuck ups. That's why you save on this game. I just want to say thank you guys for all watching. You've made this whole experience pretty hilarious. My God, war never changes.